A-League women's football is back. Let's take a look at the round one matches and a look ahead to the round two fixtures as well. And we'd love to hear from you guys. Join the conversation in the comment section. What did you make of the opening round? Some fascinating results, and it started off with a big 3-1 win away for Perth Glory over Western Sydney Wanderers. And I think if you're a Wanderers fan, it's a frustration because is this going to be another season of frustration for Western Sydney Wanderers in this competition? They have struggled now for many years in the A-League women's competition, and it felt like maybe heading into this season with a couple decent signings that maybe they'll have a more competitive season this time around. And hey, it is just round one, but it is a disappointing start against Perth Glory, a team who I think, look, we're not necessarily predicting to be one of those top teams this season. Could well be one of these real competitive sides this year, but it really was a promising start for Perth Glory. Some nice goals for them in this game, but their attacking players, Gabby Holler with a couple goals, Rolla Badawia with a goal and an assist in this game as well. So Badawia on her Perth Glory debut, great start for her. And Gabby Holler, a player who, only just grabbed a few goals last season for Glory in this comp. But this season already, perfect start for her. 2 goals in the first game. So hopefully for Glory fans, she'll kick on and have a really successful season. But it's the perfect start for Perth Glory, and big trouble for Perth. Obviously, just, regardless of the A-League men's, A-League women's, that travel is such a big factor. And we do see it a lot where Glory do struggle in those away games. Generally, they can be a formidable team at home, but in the away games, that's when the results can sometimes, they can struggle to pick up points on the road here. So it's a perfect start here for Perth Glory, and I think for Western Sydney Wanderers, just hugely, hugely disappointing. This is probably viewed as a winnable game for them, a game that they want to be winning, starting here with 3 points at home. So maybe some work still to do for Western Sydney Wanderers in the early rounds of this competition, but a great start for Glory. Saturday, 2 really entertaining games, man. Sydney FC, Melbourne City. This was shaping up as one of the sort of the big fixtures of the opening round. Sydney FC, big questions over this side heading into this season. How will they respond after their, by Sydney FC's high standards in the A-League Women's, their disastrous campaign from 2024-25. And I think they answer those questions by suggesting that they will well and truly return to being a top competitive side in this league this year. Melbourne City, very much a similar lineup to what we saw from them last year. That's been one of the the great I think things for Melbourne City over this off-season. They have retained a lot of quality, especially someone like Holly McNamara leading the line. Letitia McKenna there as well. They've got such a strong team, so much squad depth, so much quality. And I think Sydney FC will take a 2-2 result here against a City side who literally did not lose in the league last year. It was a really, really exciting game, end-to-end action at times, and a draw probably feels like a fair result in the end. I thought Sarah Hunter was exceptional in Sydney's midfield, obviously just recently returning to the A-League Women's competition, but alongside Mackenzie Hawkesby and Bianca Galich, almost a new-look midfield there for Sydney FC with Galich coming in as well over from the Central Coast Mariners. It was a good start here, a solid start, I think, for Sydney FC, a 2-2 draw. They might be disappointed that they weren't able to get the win in the end. An entertaining game, and as a neutral, really, really fun game to watch. And the next game was even more fun. Brisbane Roar 3, Melbourne Victory 2. Well, it was fun to watch, but of course it was a long watch because of the storm delays, the lightning that was in the area that caused delays to the game at the start before kickoff, and towards the very end, minutes away from full time, they had to halt play because of the lightning in the area. So, but it did end in a 3-2 victory for Brisbane Roar. Matilda's midfielder Tamika Yallop stepping up with the winner late on. But some cracking goals in this game, and Rihanna Policina, fantastic strike on her Melbourne Victory debut here, coming over from rivals Melbourne City. She was great in this game, and I'm expecting Brisbane Roar to really be a competitive side this season. I think in my latter prediction, I suggested that maybe they might struggle a little bit this campaign, but if you're getting a win against a good Melbourne Victory side, that's a really it's a great test for you round one, and it's a great sort of marker to see where you're at heading into this season. I still think Victory will be one of the top teams of this competition. They'll be disappointed to start off with a loss here, but a genuinely really entertaining match to watch this one, that's for sure. And then 2 games on Sunday. Mariners 3, Adelaide United 0. Of course, being a Mariners fan, I was at this game and just stoked with the start. Stoked with the start for this Mariners team, who obviously the reigning champions coming off last season, which was so successful for us, and saw So many quality players, really performed last season for the Mariners, and a number of those players departing the club, but, retaining the likes of Izzy Gomez and even in starting lineup had the likes of Taryn King still there, Sarah Langman in goals, and Tess Quilligan, Greta Crizula as well. So some familiar faces, but so many new players coming into the lineup here for the Mariners. DeSantos scoring on debut. Coco DeCipio off that left wing as well. I thought Barwick Gray was fantastic in defense for the Mariners. And for the Reds, considering that, they had a good season last year, heading into this game against a sort of a new look Central Coast Mariners this year, they were probably hoping for at least to get a point away, round one. So for Mariners to get a 3-0 win, as a Mariners fan, I am really, really stoked with this result. I think it's a huge result to kick off the season, considering all the new players we have and the new head coach, of course, Corey Babington. Peter Trimmis also fantastic in this game with a goal and an assist. So perfect start for the reigning champions. And then a 2-1 win for the Jets away to Canberra. Maybe the surprise of the round, you could possibly say. Newcastle Jets just catching Canberra out in the end with a couple nicely taken goals, especially when you don't often see a goalkeeper assist there for Newcastle Jets as well, going long and getting in behind a really nicely taken goal. And Canberra United, look, Michelle Heyman doing Michelle Heyman things, scoring goals, of course, and I'm sure she'll be all the way up there towards the top this season once again when it comes to the Golden Boot race in the Adelaide Women's competition. But Canberra will be very disappointed with a home loss here to Newcastle Jets. I did suggest in my ladder prediction that Canberra might just slip down a little bit, might slip out of the top 6 this year, just in my opinion. But I still think they'll be a competitive team, no doubt about that. But very interesting start here for Canberra United. I think they'll be hugely disappointed with this result. And Newcastle Jets, could they be a real dark horse team heading into this season? It's a great result to start for this side. Away from home against a good Canberra United team, 2-1. 2 nicely taken goals. Great start for the Jets. Hey, let's take a quick look ahead to the round 2 games. On Friday, we got Perth Glory hosting Brisbane Roar. Very fascinating game because we've got 2 teams who got wins in round 1. And of course, both teams scored 3 goals in their respective games. And Glory, I mean, they'll be confident heading into this home fixture here. That home field advantage after a good win against Western Sydney Wanderers. They're coming up against the Brisbane Roar side who has Matilda's experience. Of course, Chloe Lincoln in goals, Tamiki Yallop. So really fascinating test here for this game to see where both of these sides are at in round 2. We've got 3 games on Saturday in the A-League Women's competition. Phoenix host Canberra. That'll be a fascinating game. Canberra looking to bounce back after that loss. And of course, Phoenix, their first game of the season after that bye in round 1. Melbourne City Central Coast Mariners, of course, a rematch of last season's dramatic semi-final tie. So Melbourne City will be wanting revenge in that game. And of course, Melbourne City will have one eye on the Asian Women's Champions League, which is coming up the following week as well. So big test for Mariners away here. And then Adelaide Sydney FC. Fascinating one as well. I mean, Adelaide were good at home last season. Against Sydney FC, I mean, this will be a fascinating test for the Reds. If there's a chance that Sydney FC win this game, and Adelaide to start the season with a couple back-to-back losses would be a true disappointment for that Reds team. But Sydney FC, man, I think they will well and truly be a competitive side this season. So I might even go ahead and tip a Sydney FC win there on Saturday Arvo. And then the lone fixture on Sunday afternoon, Western Sydney Wanderers hosting Melbourne Victory. This feels like it's probably destined for a victory win there for Melbourne Victory. I just think, especially after losing round 1, they'll be very eager to bounce back with 3 points. And you just look at the teams on paper, man, there's no doubt that Victory just have so much quality, so much class in that squad, man, so much experience. But Western Sydney Wanderers, I mean, if they get a result, even a draw out of this game, it would be a big statement, I think, early on this season. But surely Victory big favourites heading into that game this Sunday. Newcastle Jets sitting out round 2, but there are your round 2 fixtures, some very fascinating matchups. Drop your thoughts in the comments section. What did you make of round 1? What are your predictions for round 2 coming up? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And subscribe for more A-League women's content here on Auswatch Football with me, Lockie. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.